for, they're made to either, like if you're outside, you could wrap it around a pole, or they're made to be sitting on a desk. They're not made for a surface that's going to move.
Well, you need to take them back then, because that's money you invested.
Yeah, but I will use them for that. I can use it right over there on a desk, or I can use it if we're outside at a picnic table or something like that. But they just can't be used for guest bedroom talk. Hello, everybody. We just are talking. Yeah, I'm back up. And I gotta come closer to you or something. What's the matter?
Nothing. Just bored out of my mind, really.
Why are you bored?
Well, the door closed on me, and basically, when a door closes on you, you get out of your routine. You get out of your everyday routine, and
You have to create a new one.
you have to get, yeah, you have to create a new routine on out of your comfort zone. You have to, get out of your comfort zone mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and all of those sorts in order to try to make new light or, into where you're trying to go from the door that closes. So right now it's like you're standing still, the door closed, but you're like standing
You're still
still
at the
trying to
door.
figure out what other door to go into or what other door to knock,
The
what
knock
other
on.
doors to knock on in order to see who's opening those doors. Well, I've been through it several times, but not at this rate, being that we are newlyweds, as the world would put it, and being in this position, um, being tried in this position to where, my wife is affected by it or could possibly be affected by um, what has happened within our lives.
Mm. Yeah, so that's new. I mean, when this happened before, you were a single person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you had a different mindset, different outlook, different reaction to the whole thing. Um, but, that happens in life. And I guess maybe because I've been through some things, so I know doors close. And they close all the time. They just close all the time. You walk in a certain way, and suddenly somebody says, boom, no, you can't keep walking that way. And so, yeah, sometimes you stand there and stare at the door like, well, this is what I know how to do, or I was been doing this. Like you said, that routine, I've been doing this, so I'm accustomed to doing it. And they're saying, no, you can't do that no more. But you're talking to an expert who's gone through that, on so many levels. I've had doors closed and have had to figure out now what you're going to do. Now what you're going to do. You're going to have to do something different. You can't go back that way. But I know you like a routine, even though you're Mr. Excitement and you like to have things hopping and popping and everything like that. You also like a routine. And so it's difficult right now what they call when one door closes, praise God, in the hallway. You're in the hallway right now, and you're like, okay, what door or window is going to open up that I can start my new routine? And it hasn't started yet.
Mm-hmm.
But what did I tell you this morning? You're going to get up and go to the gym because exercise is good for that kind of stress tension. Get your mind off of that situation. Then, you've got all of this time. So let's strategize on, because we were going to call it strategizing next steps or something like that. We're going to call it. What can you do today? And you start just with day to day. That's all you can do.
Well, strategizing day to day, right? And the strategizing is the strategizing from day to day is, you thank God in the midst of everything. You thank God because there's something that He knows before we do. Something is about to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a reason behind that happening, why it had to happen the way it happened and why it happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I have no idea of. Well, I have my idea of it, but I could try to figure it out. I could try to go around the world to try to figure out what went on, why it went on, or whatever.
Right.
But God knows.
Mm-hmm.
God's idea of it was very different from my idea of it. We prayed twice. Facebook prayed, you know, over it, and at the end of the day, what happened happened.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's a relief, but just putting the just trying to go from one door to the next in this market of Charlotte, I'm just kind of wondering, like, God, okay, you closed that door. Thank you. We've asked for it in so many ways. We didn't ask for it to turn out the way that it turned out, but we asked for another door to open so I could
Mm-hmm.
leave that door to go into the other door. But the door just closed. They just, I guess, threw me out like Fresh Prince, like Uncle Phil used to do Jazzy Jeff. What was Jazzy Jeff's name on the Fresh Prince?
Uh,
You can't remember.
I cannot
It
remember.
wasn't Clifton or something, was it?
No, no, no. Oh my gosh,
You
what are you
remember
gonna do?
when you
But I
remember
remember Uncle, what's his name, would just pick
Phil?
him up, Uncle Phil, and all you saw was the door, and he'd go flying through
Yeah,
it. I remember that. I remember that.
and
We
so
used to throw him out like every
yeah,
episode in the
every
beginning.
time he see him, he just throw him out.
Throw him out.
So that's sort of how I felt yesterday. That they were just waiting for the perfect opportunity to literally throw me out the door, which is cool, you know. But the difference is Jazzy Jeff always came back.
No,
I'm not coming back.
that's because Fresh Prince was up in there, and that was his friend. You ain't got no friends at that place. You ain't got to worry about it. If anything, you could worry about Bobby, but she's not at that location, right?
I ain't even worried about
You
that.
said you ain't even worried about that. So don't worry about it. I mean, literally, it's a door that closed. And yes, there are consequences to that. Yes, there's things that are lost, but there's things that are gained. And see, this is my thing. God sent you the right wife. I do not worry about the things that are lost because it was getting very difficult to see what you had to go through in order to stay there. It became very difficult for me to watch you come home every day. It became very difficult to hear you when you had to leave. And anybody who cares about somebody is going to be upset or miserable as they watch this person push themselves to go through something over and over and over again that they know the person can't stand doing, that they know is hurting the person. So I did feel relief. I felt relief too. I was like, "Phew, that's done. That's over with. Close that door. So I have a different attitude. I know other people may look like, oh no, now what are you going to do? Oh no, what you going to do now? You just got married, blah, 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 blah. But anybody who would care about you would be like, okay, yeah, we know you need something new, you need something else. But man, I'm glad you're not in that mess because I saw how much it was hurting you. I
Well,
saw
you
how much
saw
it was
more
holding
than
it back.
you
Maybe I
saw
did.
more than what the average person
And
would
maybe
see.
I pay attention
It's
more.
just like
Because anybody not paying attention that you were doing janitor's closet at 5 something in the morning in your car on the way to work, and you were telling other people I'm coming home from work, and I'm tired, my feet hurt. If they were paying attention, they saw it.
yeah. But the thing about it is, what I'm saying is, like, and you're right. You pay a lot more attention to different things. You pay attention to
To
things,
different things,
but
differently. Mm-hmm.
but you know, it was just like the other day when they were talking about when me and you had the debate about the events and a particular person I ain't seen in 7 to 10 years said that I
Excuse me,
keep talking about the
early.
same thing, and I'm killing my ministry, complaining and things like that. And you were like, see, they see the surface of things. They don't see, the what's behind the scenes of, what I do as far as the promotions, as far as as far as the
Marketing.
marketing, as far as trying to get people to come perform, or just the big stuff that I do behind the scenes in order to make it great. It's the same way though. And see, that's why I wasn't worried about talking about it, because you see that my leg was in pain. My legs are in pain right now. My feet are still in pain and I ain't even walking.
I know.
But you see me coming
Come
home at
home
40
like
years
that.
old, halfway crippled from standing on my feet. You see me mentally drained. You see me laying in the bed all day like I got no life. You see these things that those people that make comments don't see.
Don't see.
You know,
And I get that.
so you gotta have within your head, if you don't see what I see, like Heavy D, you can't see what I can see, you're blind, baby. You're blind from the fact you're blind. It's just like that. If you can't see the hard work and the dedication and the loyalty and the perseverance behind everything that I put myself into, then you should have no say so, period, because you don't know what I've been through.
Well, people gonna talk, whether they have a right to talk or not. But my thing is, I don't pay that kind of stuff any mind because, again, like you said, you don't see the work, you don't see the mindset. You know what I'm saying? You don't see somebody get up and go day to day to a place that drains them, that takes them their time away, that leaves them hurt. You don't see that. So, of course, your comment is going to be shallow because you don't see the depths of anything. Now, I could take the time to put you in your place, but that depends on my mood. If I don't feel like taking any time to put you right, to explain things to you, because not everybody is owed an explanation. You understand? We ain't got to sit there all day long and explain to people, well, this is the way you should think. Well, if you knew this, that, and the other thing, then you would change your mind. Some people are worth giving that explanation to because you're educating them. And other people are just going to be shallow whether you told them yes or no. So my thing is I'm going to sit there and gauge whether I should take the time to explain to you. Like when people were making that comment, and I was debating on whether to come in, remember, and make a comment. And in the end, I really didn't because I figured, first of all, he grown man, he know how to hold his own. Second of all, if I have to come in, I'm not so sure I can keep my tongue the way it's supposed to be. And the other thing is, when you tell me that this is a person who you haven't seen for 7 years saying a comment, well, you really don't care. You just want to hear yourself talk. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you cared, we would see you. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they cared, they would see you.
So,
Or in any capacity, they could come here. They could say, "Hey, let's go to church together. Let's have a cup of coffee." If they cared, they would be present. So you just showing up on a Facebook comment, that shows the level of connection.
so what I'm saying is, all of that, with all of that being said, when that door closes and people start coming as you're
Swarming,
walking, and people just start, it's like
saying
bees
stuff.
swarming, flies flying around you and swarming behind you, just constantly, getting on your nerves, as you're walking. It's like a stray dog, and the stray dog just walking, trying to get some water. But at the same time, as it's trying to get some water, it's fighting fleas, it's fighting ticks, it's fighting gnats, it's fighting flies, you know, until it's trying to get its water. If you notice, like when a bug is on a dog, and a dog has its water,
Mm-hmm.
it keeps drinking that water. It don't stop. It might swipe it a little bit.
Only if it gets really irritable.
Yeah, if it gets
If it gets
irritable,
really,
but
really
other,
right, he'll stop to bite at it or whatever. But he'll go back to drinking
yeah,
the
he'll
water.
go back to drinking that water because it's at that water. So in other words, you can't stop straight ahead when that door closes and that owner kicks that dog out of the house, you know,
Exactly.
and tells him to go mate with somebody else or just leaves it stranded, whatever it does, and that dog just roams off and never looks back until it gets that water. And when it gets that water, no matter how long it takes, how many days it takes, whether he has to rest or whatever, his main focus is to go lick on that water. So you can't get distracted by the doors that close. In other words, you got to look at a lot of it as a blessing for, you know, that door that closed, that door that closed on you know, is a blessing. That door that closed on you is a way that, you know, you have to seek more opportunity that comes. The whole time that, you know, I was there, I was like, what can I do within these 10 hours? I could do so much. Me and you used to
Mm-hmm.
argue about that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did we argue?
Well, we used to debate about that because I used to get on you, jump on you. I wish I would have at that time,
Time to do,
you know.
yeah.
So now it's like you're out of your comfort zone of the normal routine, and God puts you in test. Okay, well, what could you do within a 10-hour period of time or a 12-hour period of time? And Dana knows very well 12 to 14 hours a day of something that you normally do within the routine. What can you normally do out of your routine? How could you handle? How could you manage? You want to be a founder, CEO of something? You know, now you have perfect time to really show people what you can do.
What you can do.
You know,
Mm.
so you take it as that, but at the end of it, it's still uncomfortable because you're not, it's been a long time since you've been in that
The
position.
position that you had the
And it's a
time.
new position being that you're around newlyweds. But the gift is just having a wife that thinks more outside of the box than you do and has an understanding of who you are and how you are and accepting who and how you are. And you know, you got some of y'all people who be like, and I'm gonna get in a zone,
Oh,
who be
watch
like,
out. Zone approaching. Go ahead.
you know, Judy just old and she wanted to take advantage of a young man. You know, she just wanted to
I'm
have
just
a young
old
man,
and yeah, right. Okay.
and you know, you got some to say there's some type of motive or whatever. But the reality is that if it was a motive behind anything, now you'll really see what the motivation is
Can I tell you
behind
what the
what you're
motivation
doing.
is? I mean, since said people talking about me, the
No, I'm just
motivation.
saying,
Oh
you know,
no,
people, I'm not
say
saying
things.
that people
I don't mean
are,
it that way, but I
yeah,
mean
the way they think.
the way they think. The motive for me has always been love and to create a home. And what did we say this morning? That whatever you give me, or we didn't say it exactly that way, but
I
I said,
posted it
you did? What did you post?
about the acceptance. You said great.
Whatever, right, whatever you give me, I'm going to accept and make a home out of it.
Yeah.
And so my motive is to make a home. Now, some people can't make a home unless they got, what's my favorite line? Granite countertops, 5 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. That's when they feel they can make a home. They can't seem to make a home if it's only got 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. But the goal of the helpmate is wherever she was dropped, she made a home. See, people like to, and I got to get biblical. People like to talk about Adam and Eve in the garden and how perfect it was, and how, then they sinned, and then it was actually Eve's fault in a way because she was the one that listened to the doggone serpent. But what people don't talk about, and one day I want to really make a whole sermon on this thing. What people don't talk about is that was the best example of marriage that we could ever have.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you go from having eternal life, a garden made where you don't got to do nothing but pick some fruit and eat and lay down and sleep, animals all tame running around saying, hey, how you doing? And you go from that to one, knowing you're naked, meaning you're lacking something. Two, being forced out of this place only place you've ever known. Then you're given all these things. Well, the world gonna be cursed, and you're gonna be by the sweat of your brow. And women, your childbearing is gonna be multiplied, and it's gonna hurt. Imagine going out from that and being said, now go out into the world. It's dusty. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna work. Why didn't Adam and Eve get divorced?
Because they knew they wanted to go through something together.
Thank you. They had a purpose. God had already told them the promise that Jesus was coming through them. They already had a purpose. And the purpose didn't stop because paradise did. Do you see how deep that is? The purpose doesn't stop because paradise stopped. The purpose continued even out in the desert, even out in the wilderness, in the world where you got to suddenly tow the land and try to get something to grow. Okay, the purpose didn't stop. And they went on to have children upon children upon children upon children. They did what their purpose was, which was to subdue the land, multiply, be blessed. And they died in old age together. You don't hear about, well, Adam went off on the other side and married somebody else. You don't even hear about him taking a second wife. You don't hear about it. And I tell people, I said, there's a love story and a success story in the fact that these people continued to make a home even outside of paradise. And we gloss over that. We miss it so much. So she continued to be that helpmate. She didn't stop being a helpmate because she fell. She made a mistake. He made a mistake behind her. You know what I'm saying? They continued to be there for one another. Continued, obviously, to have sex and make babies.
Then maybe that's the plan.
That was the plan.
No,
God
I'm talking
said,
about first.
oh, you know what? You know what you
No,
said.
seriously.
See,
Now that you made
I
a
did
point.
step into that one, but really,
Now that you made a point,
oh my
maybe it
goodness.
is the point of us just sitting around having sex all day.
No, it's not.
And
No,
making
we
more
got
babies.
another baby called Single, Saved, and Serious, called the CLE, called Kingdom, our community commitments that people want us to be a part of.
Yeah, but we can still have sex.
I didn't say we couldn't have sex.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
You know what? This is
there'll
early
be more
morning show,
sex.
and the people are like, look, they're talking about
It
sex
could be
already.
more sex. You see what I'm saying?
Of course it can. You're home, doggone
Yeah,
it, and you're not broke
so
up.
it could be more sex now, and maybe that's the added of the baby. Maybe that's the added of, that door
I
was
don't
closed.
know. I'm
That
not
door was
questioning God.
closed, but doors
Oh,
are about to open.
No, them
When
doors.
the doors is
Yeah,
closed.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Listen, all I'm just saying is that when you are forced out of paradise, when the paradise door closes, when you know you're going into a hard time, when you know what you're facing isn't going to be easy, when that easy door closed, or even that hard door closed, you do not have to come out of the promise that God gave you. God gave you Single, Saved, and Serious. Okay? And it's already survived you having a door closed when you way back last year. So it's going to survive this door closing too. And it's for us to, even though we got to find a new routine, we got to find something else to do. It's for us to what did we say last night? Keep your focus on the focus. We still got to move forward. We still got to keep going. And God will give us a new routine. See, this is how much I trust God, people. This is how much. And it's not out of some grandiose big idea. It's because I've been through this over and over and over again. Trust and believe. I was an Israelite. I had to go through things a couple of times before I finally said, I think I got it. I think I got it. But when a door closes, when you have to reinvent yourself, when you have to start doing something you never did before, when the job that you always did, or and I'm gonna go there, even through disability, people have been working a certain way, and all of a sudden they're disabled and they got to try to find something new to do. When the door closes, that is a chance for opportunity. That is an opportunity.
Opportunities beyond matter, not opportunity, but opportunities.
Opportunities. A door closed, one door opens up opportunities. So it's not even just one. That's how big our God is. He don't just say, okay, well, I'm just going to give you one opportunity to do that. So many opportunities open up when one door closes. And if our mindsets, we talk about single, saved, and serious, changing lifestyles and mindsets. What is your mindset? Is your mindset to stand there and keep looking at the closed door? They got that little meme that says, some of us don't get into our blessing because when the door closed, we stand there and either keep knocking at it or keep looking at it. That's not where we ought to be. You heard me last night. I was like, okay, good. In the morning now, you can get up and go to the gym because you've been fussing, you haven't been able to go to the gym. Go to the gym. Work out. Get that physical stimulation.
I was fussing at God about that yesterday, even when I was at the place. I was fussing at God, like, you used to work in second shift and third shift, so your routine is in the morning, go to the gym, take a shower at the gym, and head on to work.
Mm-hmm.
Being 3 or 4 days out of the gym don't work for me, because before I go to work, I want to be mentally prepared for what comes in from it. And when I come home, the first thing I do is you'd have food ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take a shower, and then I'd go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, in the bed all doggone day.
All day.
And that ain't me, period.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't me at all.
Even when you had the other one, you didn't do this thing. Just was completely off anything that was you.
Mm-hmm.
And you were faithful with it. I have to commend you, because some people might have done that for a week and said, nah, this just ain't me, bye, and let the chips fall where they may. And you were mindful of the fact that you have a family. You were mindful of the fact that we moved into a new place, and you kept going. And that's what actually even made it harder for me, because there were days I wanted to tell you. I don't know if you noticed it. I think it was this week. Monday. It was Monday. I did not want you to go anywhere. I didn't. I was like, enough is enough.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Wait a minute, what's today? Wednesday?
Today's
day
Wednesday. It
before
was
yesterday,
Monday.
And we were laying in the bed naked.
And what did I say?
And I said, I gotta go. And then you was like, no, I don't
really
want
have
you
to go?
Yeah, I don't want you to
I
go.
don't want
I
you
want
to go.
you to lay in the bed with me.
I want
Knowing
you
what
to
that
stay
would have
here.
led up to.
Well, it doesn't matter what it would have led up
so
to. My heart was, I'm seeing your faithfulness. I'm seeing your, some people don't even have no stick-to-itiveness. They get a little bit discomfort and they out. Peace out. I'm out. You got up faithfully every day, long suffering with the thing, not complaining that much. He really didn't complain. He just didn't. And I saw that in you, and I'm like, God, you can't reward somebody that faithful with just more of the same thing. You just can't.
Well, the thing about it is, like, I couldn't pay the bills. I only had to pay my bills,
Right.
and you had to understand in the dream, the vision.
Yeah, I bought into
And barely could even pay that. So barely could even pay my own bills.
Mm-hmm.
through
But I
that. So
bought
the
into.
only thing I was working on was my dream. I was behind on my insurance, behind on my car payment, you know. And these are why I tell you these things, people. Because just like you remember you told me about that story about Willie Moore
Hmm.
Jr.,
Hmm.
how his car got towed
Oh my
and
God, he was there. They had their house was repossessed. Were into foreclosure,
he put it on social
and he
media,
put
right?
that thing on social media that he was still following his dream. It's in his book, which I have not bought yet. I do want to read that book. His wife almost was about to leave. She was just like, I don't know if I can put up with this anymore. But and they're out now doing even marriage events and things like that because she's stuck with him. She's stuck with him in the midst of having cars repossessed, houses in foreclosure. We got to get out of here. We got to take all of our stuff, whatever we can afford to take, whatever we can fit, and we got to leave. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for a woman when she's created a home to have to get up and leave it and may not even be able to take everything she's put in there. So,
But you know what though?
well,
As you were talking about that, as you was talking about what Willie Moore was going through and stuff like that, like it brought to my attention. It's just like the empty chairs picture I did, you know, with conversation piece.
mm-hmm.
Just because that door closed on you doesn't mean that there's no door that's open. So you got a bunch of empty chairs this year, but who knows where it'll lead to next year. And that's what I try to tell you. Like I thought about it. It's like when with jobs and things like that, I like to be fired more than I like to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because I don't quit.
You don't.
You
You
see what
don't
I'm
quit. I
saying?
saw that. I saw that.
So you
So
don't,
this is not a quitter.
yeah, you don't quit unless it's necessary. But another thing is you don't also fight people that you already know you can beat. So it's best that if, like they say, turn the other cheek, it's best that if somebody targets you and you already know you can beat them,
Mm-hmm.
to walk
To
away
walk away. Mm-hmm.
instead of just fighting back, knowing that it's an easy battle. You go to more challenges.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, it's just like when I was a little kid, right? And people knew they could beat me in basketball, you know, but they would never play me. They would never play me because I never was a challenge to them.
Mm-hmm.
They would never watch me play.
You got your fingers in the phone.
Hallelujah. Am I talking to somebody?
I guess so.
Wouldn't even watch me play because they knew that I wouldn't be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was they wanted somebody of more of a challenge that will make them sweat, that will make them fight, that will make them do everything in order to challenge them for the win. I was looking at a video yesterday of two brothers. One is a major radio personality in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Big ego. He's 4'1", but he has a
Sure.
heart
She's so funny.
of a 7-footer,
What are you
right?
talking about? 4 foot?
He's four
He
foot
gonna get
one.
you.
He
He
has a
gonna get
heart
you.
of a 7-footer. Well known. I ain't talking about brother, big brother. But I was watching a video of somebody who's well known around the Charlotte area, North Charlotte, from North Charlotte, Jerry CSU. And I've been challenging this boy for like 30 years, for like the last 20 years. I want to play you in ball. I seen you. And yesterday he had the nerve to because he plays ball all the time all around the city, and he had the nerve to let me really actually see him play ball. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen him play ball, but He played it with Quick and all of them boys, but them boys. Um, but the thing about it is with that, you know, he put it up. The same man, about 500 pounds, beat both of them. And it was more of a literally, it wasn't no, I'm trying to beat you. I'm trying to demolish you. I'm trying to get you off of the court. It was more of a 3-point challenge going to 5 points than it was, I'm just trying to embarrass you and humiliate you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at it and I said, is that really worth me playing against?
Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Because that door closed, that person shut the door on me years ago, right? That person slammed the door on me every time I reached out, slammed the door on me. And I'm just playing, just playing and trying to get his attention. And he literally shut the door on me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, now that I see he's opened the doors for others and they let him in, he let him in, and he just got ate up by the people who he opened the doors for. Imagine what I would have done to him if the doors would have been open for me. Does that make any sense to you?
I think so. I'm trying to
From
help
looking from a distance, looking back. Okay, you shut the door on me, right? I say, Judy, baby, I want to get with you.
Was she so silly?
5 years ago, I want to get some of that cougar love and see what's popping with it.
So silly.
I want you to take care of me, And I have no idea. I'm just flirting with you. And you back off and you be like, go somewhere else, go back to your mama house, right? Right.
Yes.
And I see you like years later, and I see you, and I'm looking at you from a distance. You don't even know I'm looking at you, right? But I'm sitting there like, was it worth
What?
getting in that door from looking at you
From
now?
looking at you now.
Was it always worth me going into that door? What if I would have went into that door? You letting somebody else into the door now that has nothing on me, period.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if I would have came in that door.
Mm-hmm.
Was it really worth it?
Would it have been worth it?
So a lot of times we got to thank God for those doors, regardless of in the midst of where we are within our lives. Regardless, and we don't know anything. Cuz love, if you listening, we see you on here, it's the same thing. The challenges that we go through only make us more of the character that we are, only builds more character, only builds more creativity, regardless of what's over here or what's over there, just like taking the focus off of the focus, regardless of what's ever around you. The opportunities are there. You ain't no longer 8 hours or 10 hours to where you're leading into following somebody else who doesn't have a vision. Their only vision is to go do the same routine every day. Instead of building the business, they're building for somebody else's business.
Yeah, we had to talk about that this morning. It's not even efficient. It's not even efficient. And they're not even building a business. They're just finding a way to spend money. I'm telling you, I've been in corporate America. I've been in small businesses enough. Sometimes it's just about spend that money. Because you came to him saying this can be done more efficiently, and he didn't even want to hear it. He didn't even want to really put it to the test. Because, like I said, had you actually been able to prove what you said, then how would it have made him look? Because I bet you in everybody's face talking about, I need more, I need more, I need more. And here comes this little upstart. You ain't even been there 6 months talking about, no, you don't. this could be done in this amount of time if you set it up this way. But see, you have 16 plus years of experience. You know what it takes to do something. And the thing of it is that he didn't want to have to be shown up. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say that. Because for him to say, I accept the challenge, I'm going to put you to the test, and the next thing, remove the test and you, he don't want to have to change and be shown up. And he would have to justify how he had all these people on here in the first doggone place. So if it can be done more efficiently, why haven't you come up with the idea? So you got to understand, people's pride and greed run a whole lot of stuff. A whole lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
people have different motives, and when you challenge
Pride
that motive,
and greed are the motives.
yeah,
I'm
pride
serious.
and greed, and you trying to get as much overtime as
Yeah,
possible.
you're trying to
You got your
justify
own
why your
plan.
budget's so big. You're trying to justify, you do all of that kind of nonsense. And but like I was explaining this morning, it's like these motives that people have. But I wanted to talk to something you just said. You were like, it builds our character when these doors are closed. You got to understand, God is molding you. God is creating. You know, the Bible often talks about clay, that he's molding us like clay. And sometimes you got to cut off some things from the clay, or you got to slow the wheel down and stop and do some things and then put the wheel back on. So don't get your mindset off of the fact that you are on a journey. I know most of my friends know I talk about life as a journey, because you're going to reach so many destinations, but you still living, so you still got more to do. You still got more to do. And the ultimate goal of God, if you're a believer, born again Christian, I know we barely say that anymore, but the whole purpose of people saying born again was that you're being raised up again. You're being taught again on how to be in this world and be a representative of Christ. So a closed door, redirection. I mean, I know people say this in motivational, inspirational, life coaching, but this is true. It's a spiritual truth. Redirection. You're not going that way anymore. I'm now going to open up a whole bunch of opportunities. And what we're supposed to be doing is learning to be like Christ as these new opportunities come along.
So get excited.
Shoot.
Don't get discouraged.
You saw me. I was like, oh, we can go to the gym. I might still go out and have a 385 breakfast up at Sunrise or something. I don't know. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, let's go have a 385 breakfast before we make breakfast.
You know what?
So therefore, we're about to get off of here. I'm about to make some breakfast right now.
You know what? I can make breakfast downstairs. I ain't even got to pay $3.85.
No, we can make breakfast right here.
You know what? Hush.
That's what I'm trying to talk about.
I know what you're trying to talk about. I'm trying to talk about something else.
I got time to really make some breakfast.
Not so much but just our point. When the door closes, opportunities.
Yeah, knock on the opportunities.
Go after them. Chase them down. Ask God what he wants you to see as he closed that door.
Yeah, because for you non-believers who have so much pride in yourselves that you don't want to come to God, God allows those things to happen in order for you to seek him.
Thank you.
For others to seek. So
I've got a story behind that. I have a very big workaholic friend who was out of work for 4 years. I ain't never seen anybody out of work that long. And, she's asking me to pray, and she's asking me to pray. I need a job. I need a job. And one day when I was praying for her, I heard it in my spirit, and I knew I had the release to tell her. And I said, what better way to get the attention of a workaholic than to keep you out of work?
Mm-hmm.
I said, God wants your attention. And she was like, wait, say that again. And it changed the entire direction of her life. She got it. And her relationship with God now is deep. But I said, he is trying to talk to you. But he knows that once he gives you that job, You all
You'll
gonna be
forget
about that
about them.
job. Your focus ain't gonna be on God. It ain't gonna be about what I could be doing with this money to help other people. It's gonna be about I went shopping, I went here, I did that, I went roller skating, went to see my family on a family trip. We're gonna hear about all of that. But God was trying to change the direction of her life and her mind, and He kept her out of work for 4 years. So when something is closed, seek God. Door closes, look and see what He wants you to learn or what He wants you to do. Because it might be something He's trying to change you and mold you and create all of what He has put inside of you. And sometimes we need a door closed in
Yep.
order to do some of that searching.
Yep.
Anyway,
So we love you and
but God
God
loves
loves
you
you more.
more.